may I help you, sir?
How about 2 out of 3 falls in my bathtub?
I'm sorry, sir, but that's outside of my area of expertise. I'm trained to sell tickets.
Tell me, how do you like working at intrigues, Sugar Coral?
It's much better than it was under Vanderval. We even have a trade union now, and the retirement benefits are first class.
Okay, but what about sex and crime? I hear you guys do a great side business in industrial espionage.
Competing in the international market requires vigilance, sir.
Believe me, the new intrigues is above board, under control, and international. It's not the old tangle of power and money that it used to be, when Leo Vanderval still wielded the scepter. It's a fact that his gun-running gang almost triggered a war.
You don't have to tell me about it. I was there. So where's Vanderval now? Jail, I hope. But people like him don't usually do time.
Not unless you consider a stylish new station off Old Hudson Bay doing time. It's called Gotham. And they rake in mega credits through illegal methane hydrate mining in the Bermuda Triangle, along with the usual techno smoke.
Harper likes to keep track of any possible source of income.
Watch out, Harper. Too much avarice blocks the blood vessels.
That's what they used to say about salt. I think it's all hogwash.
Personally, I think Vanderval may be planning a return to power. He's already hired a real fighting machine named Lloyd to head his ex-Interpol battle gang.
Christina Lloyd. I know her. She looks like a patchwork quilt. A real plague. Dangerous as a great white. Hey, DeGrange is calling for me for check-in.
Say whatever you want. Hydrate is a superb energy source. You can't blame Vanderval for getting in and making a profit before a bunch of international office farts decide who gets what and how much.
If it's illegal, it's illegal. Methanhydrate is intended to be a democratic fuel, with fair and equitable distribution.
Sediment, my dear, sediment. I won't hear such nonsense. What does fairness mean in Aqua, when there's always the threat that someone will turn off your air? We live like drones, sneaking and ducking around, keeping our traps shut in the hope we'll live another day. Protest once against anything, and you get your throat torn out.
Well, man is dominated by physical urges. Gluttony, territoriality, and procreation.
Oh, stop your complaining, Flint. Think positive. Life means hope.
Lady, knock off the esoteric waffling. Hoping means freaking out.
Flint, make your way to the power station. Chang will contact you there. And don't forget, Vanderval's gang is as dangerous as they come.
Yeah, I know. He's got Christina Lloyd running the show.
Lloyd? That ragbag? She's got more titanium in her face than you have protecting your cockpit.
But she is tough. I mean really tough. I saw her in the Peru Trench during the hot vent crisis. She went in there like a barracuda. No inhibitions. I blew the stern off her bomber and she navigated what was left of it in her diving gear. She went for it. Sheer suicide. I've heard since then she has an artificial spine.
Yeah, made from alpha ceramics. That's what they're using for the new weapon barrels. You better watch out.
Lloyd is 100% the product of the Shogunate. Nerves of steel, bones of triple-hardened silicon carbonate, and a killer shark mentality.
Welcome to Intrigues.
What's the word, Chang?
I know why you're here. Honestly, I have no idea what the contents of those ominous data files are. I also don't like being a pawn in a game where I don't know the rules, let alone the fact that it's being played in my house. I trust Admiral Cox, of course, but not the Chaos and the Obelisk. If I were you, I would talk to the workers at the power storage station. They know the score. If a valve is jammed in Aqua, they can not only tell you where, but also when, why, and for how long.
That's good to know, Chang. Anything else?
Watch out for Van der Waal and his gang of hired psychopaths, particularly Christina Lloyd. They're working the Hydrate into the Bermuda Triangle, in open defiance of international treaties. They're also involved in gun running, the illegal transfer of technology, the gene trade, and who knows what else. Don't make the mistake of thinking Van der Waal's a toothless ex-tycoon. He's a mean old buzzard with a bite worse than a megaship.
Well, if he bites me, he'll need new dentures.
That's exactly the kind of attitude we need to try and deflate.
I'll be there.
What can I get for you, stranger?
I've been hearing about a new kind of disease that comes out of the brackish water of the South China Sea. It kills people, but they're not dead. They turn into vegetables, but something inside them keeps kicking.
I know just what you're talking about. One Aquarium Tsunami booster coming up.
Light! We're debating the pros and cons of the various communication systems.
You know, fiberglass, synapses, ELF. If you cut off just one station, it's as good as a death sentence.
What's with all the talk about synoptic communication?
Bionics, man! Via genetic engineering, Machina Antarctica has produced a highly sensitive ampulla of Lorenzini. Now, electric impulses can be passed from one synapse station to another. It works best in the sulfur layer, where cold and warm waters meet. In the future, everyone in Aqua will have their own synaptic number, and communication will be entirely neuroacoustic.
Enough, Leonie, enough. You'll have to excuse her. She's a physicist. She welcomes every change, but not me. I'm not that smart. And don't ask her about the turbine fields.
Oh, yes! We're registering increased velocity of the Gulf Stream. It won't be long until we reach the petawatt limit, for the first time in more than 500 years.
That sounds very industrious. Tell me, do you know anything about some antique data carriers that Van der Waal might have in his possession?
That old codger has millions of credits worth of antiques. Try talking to Soveso in the power station. He used to decode transmissions for Van der Waal.
Are you Soveso? Charlie and Leonie told me.
If she had one of her blabber attacks, I can only imagine what Leonie told you.
Actually, she said you might know something about Van der Waal and some antique data carriers.
I used to decrypt and catalog information for him, but that's not my business anymore. If it's important, go to the Blazing Ice and see if you can find little Kiz. She got my old job, and believe me, she's no fan of Van der Waal's.
Cox here on a secure line. It's starting. It won't be long until old Van der Waal contacts you, Flint. He already knows you're snooping around. Stand by for further instructions regarding Operation Brainfire.
Brainfire? Ooh, that sounds important.
Important? Important is crab dung compared to what's at stake here. The demons that got themselves expelled from Entrox call their new station Gotham. It's an old name for New York because it's located near the Hudson Canyons. They're exploiting methane hydrate resources in the Devil's Triangle illegally. It's clear that they mean to return to the highest levels of power at Entrox. Listen, forget all that for now. I'm sending you some documents outlining your position. If Leo Van der Waal doesn't accept the offer, we go to Plan D.
You've been identified as Emerald Flint. Please give the reason for your stay.
I'm on holiday, pal. What else would I be doing here?
Definitely the wrong answer. We'll keep an eye on you.
Don't look too close or I'll be a splinter in that eye, pal. Out.
If anyone finds out I'm talking to you, they'll beat me to a pulp. You don't know Van der Waal and his brutes.
Salam. Don't be afraid. I'll protect your identity. Van der Waal won't find out if we make this quick. So tell me, where can I find the code data?
He has a special place where he hoards his most precious treasures. In the torch of Lady Liberty. It's the perfect place, absolutely secure. Except you can crack it with brute force.
Damn. Well, if force doesn't work, we'll just take the whole damn statue. I'm sure as hell no safecracker.
Watch the old Entrox cops. They've got it covered like white on rice.
Flint! Christina Lloyd and Leo van der Waal. I'm ready for your still breathing, Flint.
Now, hold your seahorses, Christina. Why don't we try talking like civilized people?
Okay, here's the deal. Van der Waal, I'm authorized to offer you and your collaborators amnesty in exchange for turning over an antique data carrier. Designation NASA 01MS.
To hell with that, Flint! I'm free now. I don't need any stinking amnesty.
Now, listen carefully, Flint. There will be no data. You know I'd back any experiment that promises a profit, regardless of the consequences to Aqua. But this data is too dangerous. You do not want this data. Believe me. And even if the oceans evaporate to the last drop, you will not get it.
If that's the way you want it, you already put yourself on a pedestal once, and we brought you down.
Now that we've gotten the diplomacy out of the way, here's my promise. Flint, because of what you did to me, I'm going to pull every one of your organs out of you within the next 48 hours!
Hey, Jigsaw Face, you must be dreaming.
Your attitude will change when I've got my hands on your throat.
That's it. I fulfilled my mission. We'll leave the rest to the future.
That future will be history for you, wise guy.
Flint, what's become of our offer to Van der Waal? Nothing, I suppose.
Flat, Admiral. So what now? Plan B?
Yes. It's time to make them sweat blood. First, I want you to cut off Gotham by destroying the ELF and synapses stations. Then get those data carriers. When you're done wreaking havoc, head for the new Entrox headquarters and report to Chang.
Aye, aye, sir. Out. Sweet little lethal Lisa. What brings you this way, baby?
I'm trying to choke down a cocktail called A Mouthful of Liquid Death. I think I'd have better luck with a mixture of liquid nitrogen and nitric acid.
You hearing anything about possible jobs?
You bet, boss. I met with Chris Kruger, the cargo ship captain from Benthus Unlimited. They're loading near the cold vents at the Bermuda Triangle, and there seems to be a lot of trouble in the water. Talk to Kruger, and fortune may smile on us. He's in Chang's office right now.
Sunny Lisa. Are we gonna do the job together? I hope so.
Ah, Flint! What are you doing around here?
I'm taking an educational sabbatical. Do you happen to know what methane hydrate is good for?
It's a potent source of energy. 1 cubic centimeter of methane ice produces 170 cubic centimeters of flammable gas. That's good for remote or isolated stations and dwellings. It's also cheap and democratic, now that no one is allowed to exploit it on their own.
Sure, okay. So, well, see you again sometime.
And remember, if you froze the water in all the oceans into 1 cubic kilometer ice cubes, they would cover the distance from the Earth to the Sun 10 times. Isn't that amazing? The Sun is 149 million kilometers away.
Sun? What the hell is a sun?
Jeez, I feel like freaking Alice in Wonderland. Everything's so techno-cool. I think my smart suit's gonna freeze to my butt. I need fire, action, glowing torpedo tubes.
Having another one of your dopamine overdose fits, Harper? You've got your orders. Recover that data.
Whoa! The hell with that. I'm not a sleuth, Flint. I destroy things for a living.
Listen, Van der Waal isn't going to make this easy for us, so we'll need good recon.
Alright. I can't argue with that. I hang around here, knock back a few hard tricks, and try to blend in.
Harper, even when you're on your best behavior, you're about as inconspicuous as a stingray in a bathtub. Ask around, but make it snappy. We don't have time to waste on this one. Well, I know a war heroine when I see one.
Flint? Dead-Eye Flint? Jane Brooklyn, sabotaged to order. I heard they turned you into algae fertilizer off Australia. So what's a gorgeous hunk of human being like you doing in Vandewall's backwater?
Still kicking, for one thing. It's not easy turning me into sediment. Tell me, have you heard anything about synaptic transmission stations and how they can be eliminated?
Hey, you've got something cooking, don't you? Well, I just had orders to clean up an outside branch of the Shogunate, meaning take it offline for a while. The rule of thumb is to destroy the attached habitat that contains the cutout switch, which brings down the whole system. If you want more, talk to Atahualpa Jones. He's dealing drugs in Atacama City now, but he comes over here to make bulk purchases of synthetics. He's also a former Intrigues cop.
Dude! It's so wet here. I love Intrigues. The techno-gothic hype. The colors. Everything's so wet. The next big bang in civilization. Whoa! Is going to happen right here.
Jones, I think you better zip home to the tornado zone and your cozy scavenger. Your drug-mangled brain can't handle a holiday like this. You ought to concentrate on something else, like the Interpol ships Vanderwall uses. I hear you used to pilot one yourself.
Whoa! Fire! Blood and bone splinters! That's the toughest outfit in Aqua. I got sucked in. The pressure never let up. We never slept. We could do it too because we developed a stimulant called turbo speed. But I do know how to blow those boys away. So, listen up. There's a very small spot on the side of their ships that isn't covered by turrets. Dude, those turrets can't swivel down vertically. An easy thing, but you better keep moving. When you have breakfast with the devil, you need a strong spoon.